Hey guys, welcome back to the This Is Soul Skate Shop YouTube channel. I'm Ivo, this is the This Is Soul Skate Shop, and today we're gonna do a review of the Powerslide Swell skates. We are here, of course, in the This Is Soul Skate Shop, where we have all the skates on the market that are any good. If you want to know what skate is best for you, the best advice you can ever get is to come by our store and try the skates actually on your foot, because then you really know if it works or not. In these online reviews, I try to tell everything there is to know about specific models. I'm going to run through the history of the model, tell you everything about it and my honest opinion. Today is on the menu the Powerslide Swell skates. It comes in a lot of different forms and shapes, but it always comes with 3 wheels, so that's kind of like a consistent. And it has also a few different names. For example, this is the Powerslide Kase skate, but it's actually just a swell skate. And then here's the Swell Light, which is a little bit different because it has a different liner. There's the Swell City or the Swell Road. But most of these swell skates, they're actually 100% the same skate, the same fit, the same performance, but it's just that the frame is a little bit different. I think the first swell model came out around 2012. I'm not entirely sure. It's at least more than 10 years ago. And back then it came out with a 165mm mount, also with 3 wheels, but because of that 165mm mount, it was pretty high from the ground. And then later in 2017, the first edition with the Trinity mount came out. And because the Trinity mount has the mount on the side here, here's a bolt and there's a bolt, it leaves room for the frame to be a lot lower. And that's one of the beautiful things about this swell skate is how low to the ground it is. You can see here that this wheel really kisses the front, and also here the middle wheel is also tucked into the boot really nicely. And I think that's one of the best features, really nice with the Trinity mount. So if you're ever gonna get the swell skate, I would recommend you getting the Trinity mount. Of course, all the skates on the market right now also have the Trinity mount. Let's run through the models real quickly and I'll tell you the differences. So this is the Kase, and I think it's meant to be a little bit more of a high performance skate, because you see also that the frame is an extrusion CNC frame and it's not a casted frame. Extrusion frames are a lot stronger. This is more orientated for the slalom market. It has a really short wheelbase. So with this skate, it's really easy to do like toe rolls and heel rolls because of the short wheelbase. If you're just a recreational skater and you're just starting out, you don't want to have a short wheelbase like that. The boot is, I think, 100% the same as the other swell skates, but it's not called a swell. This is the current model. It has the new cuff. So if you just look at the cuffs, you see that this is the old Aeon cuff and this is the new Aeon cuff. Aeon is an aggressive skate from Powerslide. And they're changing the cuff systems. Aesthetically, the old cuff seems to be a little bit better looking with just the top of the swell. And then if you see here the new cuff, you see that it looks a little bit improvised and not meant for this skate. But also in the very newest editions, they changed the lining so that it looks good again. Here they changed it to the new, I think it's called the Prime liner from MyFit. The inside is a little bit more squishy, but in general the fit is still the same. Then we go to the light skate, and this one actually has a removable liner. So that's the only one of the swell skate that has a removable liner. Here you can see you can take it out. This is also the cheapest version, performance-wise the one that does the worst job. I'll tell you why it's so bad later as well. First topic is always the fit of the skate, and I would say that the fit is normal. So take your normal shoe size. If you have a normal foot, then this skate should be fine. Nice thing about this skate is that it has a soft top. So the top of the skate is flexible, and if you tighten the laces, you can really tighten your skate really hard with the laces. There is no liner that's removable in most of these skates, only in the light version. So that's why we call it a soft boot skate, and this is then officially a hard boot skate with a soft top, and this is a soft boot skate with an integrated liner. So that's a little bit definition wise. Terms soft boot and hard boot are kind of like very vague, and it's better to just kind of like ignore them, because the terms integrated liner and removable liners are way more clear and kind of like mean the same thing. Of course, when we're talking about the liner, there's this handle on it. Don't try to pull on it really hard, because they're just meant to carry the skates. They're not meant to pull on when you put them on. The liners are heat moldable. So this is the Swell Light Liner. Doesn't say, but it just looks like a MyFit liner, and MyFit liners are always heat moldable. Not a lot of people know that all the Powerslide Swell skates and the Kase skate are all heat moldable. So you can put them in the oven at 80 degrees Celsius, and then put it on, tighten the laces really hard, close the buckle, and put your knee over your toe and let it cool down, and then it will shape to your foot. I would 100% advise you to do this for this skate, because one of the characteristics of this skate is that on the inside the liner is really flush. So this part here is really straight down, and I myself, I have like really big ankle knuckles here. They pinch in the inside of the liner, and it can create some discomfort. If you heat mold it, you'll punch it out, and then it will be a lot more comfortable. Next topic is the flex. It has the forward flex, and the forward flex is great for this skate. I really like it. It's just, it guides you forward. It has a little bit of resistance, but also lets you go all the way. The sideways flex is my biggest complaint with this skate, because the sideways flex is way too much. All skates that have this structure of kind of like an integrated liner like this, or this one has a removable liner, but it's just like, it has a too weak connection. So the shell only goes here, and then it goes up. And that just leaves too much flex in the shell. And because of that flex, you also have the sideways flex. And that kind of like means that you do not have control over what your frame is doing. The frame can have a mind of its own when your foot is standing still, or when your foot wants to move, the frame kind of like will have a delayed response because of the weak connection. And that's because of the weak boot. From all the soft boot skates on the market, this is probably the best one, but still it's way below the bar. Hard boot skates are just so much more solid, and they have so much more control. So this skate is marketed as like a recreational skate. But actually I would say that if you are a recreational skater and you just want to cruise in the park and you just want to have fun, you need a skate that would also support you in that. This skate does not do that. Next topic is the cuff. And here you can see that this is exactly the Aeon cuff. So that's kind of like funny. This is not removable, but on all other skates it is removable. This is the cheapest version. On the skates where it is removable, you can swap it. So if you like the old cuff better, then you can probably just put the other one on. And there's also different colors available. With the Aeon skates, there are some pro skates that have like colors. Like there was a green Nick Lomax skate. So you can put, if you find that cuff, you can put on the green Nick Lomax cuff on this skate as well. So you can play with that if you like colors. Nice thing about the new cuff, there's this guider for the buckle, so that if you put the buckle in very far, it doesn't go inside, because if it goes inside, it also creates a lot of resistance. So this tucks the buckle nice and in, so that it doesn't flap out, but it also doesn't create resistance. Another nice feature about this cuff is that it's rockerable, that's how they call it. So you can take the bolt out and flip the position of this little spacer here, and then you can change the position of the entire cuff. So you change the height. If you like this cuff to be lower, you can. Next topic is the buckle. Well, the buckle on these skates come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. This is the standard buckle. It has 2 holes here and 1 hole on the other side. So that's 3 holes in total, and it's like a standard buckle mount. So that's why we call it SBM 3, because of the 3 holes. Standard buckle mount 3. Cool feature of this cuff is that it also has 1 position more to the back. So the distance between these 2 holes is 1.5 centimeters, and 1.5 centimeters more to the back is an extra hole. So if you want to have the buckle less long, then you can put it more to the back. You can also, of course, cut the buckle off. Just take a big pair of scissors, like a strong pair of scissors or a saw, and cut it off to shorten it. The cuff has these flaps. I would advise you to cut them off, because if you don't, then it's really hard to close it. It goes in all the way like this, and then it touches the buckle there. So it's hard to close this cuff without breaking off these flaps. So this is the standard buckle. The Kase also has the standard buckle. And these standard buckles, these editions are not the best ones. They flex a little bit too much and they sometimes break. I would advise you to put on a metal buckle if you can. If you want to upgrade the buckle, that's a really smart idea. Here you can see two totally different buckles. They have like a crank system. So you can crank them further and further. And then there's a release button here in the center to open it again. So that's great. And this one is even better. It's a lot thicker. You can crank it like this. There you go. Crank, 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 crank. And then release it here in the middle. Sometimes these buckles rattle though. And I created a fix for this, so that's a nice thing to know, is if you take a piece of tape and you fold the tape around this bridge here and also on the other side, then it cannot rattle anymore. So that's a nice little fix against the rattling. Next up is the ankle buckle. Well, you see that there's no ankle buckle, there's an ankle strap. In my opinion, this really doesn't do that much. It's way better to just tighten the laces and not have to deal with this. I think it sits a little bit in the way. If you just take it off, I also like the aesthetics then better without the strap. You can just cut it off here with a knife. Then it's way easier to get to the laces as well. It's one less action you need to take to close your skates. And because you can reach the laces better, you can just tighten it really hard, a lot easier. This one does have a buckle though. So this is standard SBM2 standard buckle mount with 2 holes. You can replace it with any other SBM2 buckle if you want. This one is great. It's kind of like a standard Powerslide ankle buckle. If you want to keep it, you can also just point it downwards if you tighten the laces and then point it back upwards if you want to use it. But you can also just unscrew it here if you want to take it off. If you want to change colors, there's tons of other ankle buckles that you can put on it that we have, of course, on thisissole.com. If you go to ankle buckles, you'll see loads of colors and they all fit on this skate. The other skates don't have a hole, and I guess you could drill a hole to put an ankle buckle on it if you really want to. But yeah, that's of course you have to be a little bit ballsy to drill in your skates. If you're too afraid to do it, you can always come here and we'll do it for you. Next topic is we're going a little bit downwards on the skate. And if you look on the skate, you see this raised heel in the back and then it goes down in the front. That's kind of like the standard way that all skates are. You want to have a little bit of a forward lean. And we get the question sometimes of putting in an extra shock absorber. Well, you can, of course, but if you do, you have to take into account that you also change the forward flex, because the relation of your ankle to the cuff changes as well if you put in anything extra inside the skate, like a shock absorber. So normally we would not advise you to do that in this skate. The frame is, of course, the Trinity mount frame. And that means that this is kind of like a whole architecture where you can put in any Trinity mount frame on this boot. So there's tons of different types of frames on the market with like 3 wheels, obviously, like all these skates are coming with, but also with 4 wheels or 5 wheels, with a flat base where all the wheels touch the ground, or with the rocker where the outer wheels do not touch the ground, so you're a lot more maneuverable. There's even an aggressive frame, it's called the Trinity Flux frame, where there's these little sideways wings where you can do some grinds on. They also fit on these skates. I think it's actually a really good idea to upgrade the frames for this skate, because me myself, I'm not a fan of the 3 wheels. The idea of the 3 wheels is that you go faster with bigger wheels, and then that you create the maneuverability by taking 1 wheel away. So that, because if you go really long and you have like 4 big wheels, then you're not really maneuverable, so you take 1 away so that you are maneuverable again. But I think the right way to approach this is actually to have 4 wheels, but then put the outer wheels a little bit higher. That creates a rocker, and that also creates the maneuverability. So, for example, if you have like a 100mm Trinity Powerslide Swell skate, like this one, you'd be way better off if there would be a 4th wheel here, because this empty space here in the middle, you don't want that. And if you put the wheels closer together, you're going to be really unstable. So you want to have like a lot of length, because especially for these recreational skaters that use this skate, they don't want to fall, right? You don't want to fall. So if you don't want to fall, you want to have a long frame like a ski, because then you can never fall. So all these standard swell skates like this one have like a short wheelbase, and that makes it really easy to tip over. Then the 3 wheels are also really high. You're going to be tall from the ground. This makes the sideways flex even worse. So it'd be more flexy and you're also more unstable. The only one with the long wheelbase is this one. It's the Swell City or the Swell Road. But then you're still left with these big gaps of nothingness in between, and you want to kind of like more fill that up. If you want to have this wheelbase, I think you'd be better off with a 4x110 than a 3x125. Because if you ride over something, like my finger here, you're gonna hit it once, then you're gonna hit it twice, and then you're gonna hit it 3 times. So it's gonna be like boom, boom, boom. But if you have 4 wheels, it's gonna be more like one smooth thing, and that's ideal. So this is maybe nice if you skate on a track or something where the ground is really flush, but having more wheels on a bad road is really nice. Let's talk about the braking system. For the Kase skate, there's no brake in the box, but for the Swell skates, there's the HOPS brake, and HOPS means height adjustable braking system. It's a cool idea where the back of the brake can like be adjusted. Because what you do, you put your foot in front of each other and you raise your toe up. But the angle in which you do it and when the brake hits the ground, it's nice if you can kind of like adjust that. Because some people want to brake really quickly with where their toe is a little bit up, but other people want to brake really far with the toes more far up. You can brake actually harder if the brake is higher from the ground. You can put on more pressure. The HOPS is a great brake and it comes standard equipped with all these skates in the box, except for this one, because that one comes with this cool feature. I've never tried it. I've never seen anybody try it. So I'm also not totally convinced that it's a good idea. I know that it has been tried as like a product in the 90s and the early 2000s. The idea is that if you just lean backwards, then this lever goes down and then there's this thing, this pad that hits the brake, and then you brake. I can just imagine that, that it would limit your maneuverability, your possibilities as well. Because if you lean back, like I don't want to brake every time I lean back. So that's for me as an advanced skater, obviously. But maybe if you're a beginner and you're just like braking is really hard for you, then this is a solution. So anybody who has tried this, let me know in the comments if you like it. If you're a total beginner, it's probably worth maybe experimenting with it, maybe. Then the next topic is the wheels and the bearings. I think the bearings in all these skates are just fine. Don't worry too much about it. And then the wheel quality is the same. It's not the best wheel quality. You'll be fine. The wheels will roll. They are not the worst thing about these skates. You can upgrade them, of course, with some rollerblade hydrogen wheels, for example, or some other like really good quality wheels. That's definitely worth it. You'll go faster with better quality wheels for sure. Another thing you can do to upgrade it is putting a nice insole in, because most of these skates actually don't come with an insole, or if they have an insole, it's a really weak, flimsy thing. And for skating, you want to have a nice cup that holds your heel, has good arch support. Because if you move your foot, the insole is the first thing that translates your energy to your skate. So you want it to be solid. The laces, as far as I see, are pretty nice actually. But you can always put in some wax laces. They also are really nice. And of course you can experiment with different frame setups on this skate, like I already told you. That's how to upgrade this skate. And then my overall review of this skate is that the fit is nice. The looks are also pretty nice. But for me, the performance with these 3 big wheels and also the bad sideways flex, like it's too flexy, makes this skate not the best choice to get, especially if you want to go recreational skating. I hope this review gives you a better insight. If there's something I missed, you can always, of course, drop it in the comments. We make a new video like this every week. So subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.